Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks to those that have tuned in so far. Please do us a favor, share this post. I shared it on Fixing York, but if you're watching this elsewhere, share with your friends. To kick this off, just wanted to say this is part of this administration's new initiative, to just be more transparent, get ahead of things like this potential storm, and to educate our residents as to what our plans are. So my name's Philip Given. I'm the Chief of Staff for Mayor Helfrich. With me is Mike Shannabrook, the City Emergency Planner, Tom Landis, our Highway Superintendent, and Cody Santiago, who is our Emergency Manager. So, Mike, you're the guy that's up first.
Yes, sir.
Can you give us an update, the latest update on the potential of this storm?
The potential storm right now, it is moving west along the mid section of the country, and the projections are that we should start to see some snow later on this afternoon or in this evening. The storm, presently they are still having some difficulty making any firm predictions on it. That's changed since even the 7 o'clock report. But currently we are tracking it right now. The Susquehanna River seems to be the main dividing line between significant snowfall and the lesser amounts that we would be facing in York County.
So our friends in Lancaster are definitely going to get more snow than we are?
Yes, sir. Okay. Definitely.
All right. Do we have, with the latest map, do we have an estimate as to how much we possibly could get?
Well, the current estimates from National Weather are indicating 4 to 6 inches. That's what we're looking at this time.
Okay. So, Cody, if we do end up with 4 to 6 inches, do you think, based on the timing of the storm, that we'll see school delays tomorrow morning?
I mean, obviously the schools are going to do what they want to do and what they see fit and the most safe for their students and faculty. But I think that if we see the 4 to 6 amounts with past history and recent history, we'll probably at least see some delays, if not some closings, if this report's as accurate as what they're saying. So yeah, we can definitely look for some delays at least.
Okay. Do you think the snow will start sometime this evening? But when will the heaviest?
The heaviest snow is projected to fall tomorrow.
Okay.
Sometime after rush, but they are calling for a coating of 1 to 3 inches, possibly by tomorrow rush time. But the heaviest snow is going to fall early in tomorrow morning, after we're on our way to work.
Okay. So Tom Landis, for those of you that don't know, he's in charge of our highway department. So Tom, can you just tell him a little bit about what your department does? Obviously, you're the ones that are in charge of the plows and the salting, but other than that, you've got, how many miles of road do we have?
We have 150 miles of paved streets and alleyways throughout the city. And our crews right now currently are getting trucks prepped for tomorrow's event. Mm-hmm. The 10-ton dump trucks, which is equivalent to like the larger PennDOT trucks.
The big ones.
Correct.
Yeah.
They are being fueled and loaded with salt and parked inside. Within Public Works, we have multiple bureaus, and some of the bureaus have smaller 1-ton dump trucks, 3/4-ton pickup trucks, which are essential and a lot more maneuverable in the tighter areas. So they're all being outfitted this afternoon with all the small plows. So that if we do see the accumulations that get above 3 inches, that we have a second means of being able to get the snow off the roads.
So given the timing that I guess comes with this newest map, when will pre-treatment of roads begin and your crews will be out there?
Sure. Well, unfortunately, the city does not have a pre-treatment system. Unfortunately for us, we have a truck that's out right now being fitted with a pre-treatment. So thankful to Mayor Helfrich and the new administration. But it's kind of ironic. We're responsible for fighting snow, but we're not up to par like some of our other municipalities are. So we currently are in the process of getting a truck outfitted, but unfortunately we won't have it for tomorrow. However, we've never had it in the past.
Right.
We're not too worried about that. Right now, road temperatures are in the low 40s. Thinking about ahead for tomorrow, I'm thinking that our commute is going to be wet roads. I do think we're going to see some snow accumulating in the grass and on vehicles, but for the morning hours, I think we're looking for the morning commute to being wet. Currently, right now, I have our highway staff reporting to work tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. That's just a standby for right now. This evening is going to be spent literally just looking out the window and watching. And once I start to see, the snow begin to fall, where it's starting to accumulate, even if it's starting to accumulate on the grass or on the edge of the road, we will get our crews in ahead of time so that we're ready to go before it starts to build up on the roadways.
Yeah. So, Mike, because it looks like we're right on the line there, what could change in the next few hours that would push us one way or the other?
With the track of the storm, a movement of something 5-10 miles either way could push us either into the more significant band or push us down into the 1 to 2 inches. So a little shift of several miles could really make a huge change in the amount of snow that we get. And as this storm is fluctuating, that's not entirely out of the possibility.
Yeah. So Cody, in general, and then obviously a 4 to 6 inch snowfall isn't the biggest snow that we've ever had, but in general, what should our neighborhoods, our residents be doing to prepare for storms like this?
I think the most important thing to note is the municipal housekeeping items. So any ordinances that are pertaining to snow, which are clearing your sidewalks to make sure that that other people can walk within 24 hours. Right. Tom's a big one on making sure you don't throw snow into the street because it makes it harder to plow. So find another place for it. Another big one, even though this isn't a huge snowfall like you said, just make sure that your hydrants are cleared out and ready to go. Sometimes if plows get up against these hydrants, snow could accumulate well above the hydrants. So make sure if you know there's a hydrant there, clear it out. Take your time shoveling. It's not a huge rush to get this snow off the ground, but it's also not a reason to cause you to fall or have any health issues over it. And there's always a potential for power outages with snow, and there's going to be some winds with this storm too. So make sure you have all your devices charged and backup batteries for anything that needs them.
Given the temperatures, probably not ice associated with this one.
We haven't heard much on this being an ice event, but you never know.
So Tom, Cody talked a little bit about it, but to make our plow drivers' lives as easy as possible, what can I do as a homeowner?
Well, Cody just touched on this about what you do with your snow from the sidewalk. A lot of folks will put the snow out onto the street, and yes, it gets it off your sidewalk, but really it just creates more work, for the driver. If we're pushing, a blade on our 10-ton dump trucks, those blades are 10 foot wide. Right. So we're moving a lot of snow off the roadway in a single pass, and when residents throw snow out into the street, we're just adding to that snow load. I think in areas where folks may be limited on where to put their snow, if you can just create some small piles on your sidewalk, but still allow enough room for people to walk, that's an easy way to get around that. Traffic, tomorrow's storm, like Mike said earlier, a lot of this storm is going to hit us during the daytime hours between morning rush and probably the morning or the evening commute. So, a lot of times what happens when our drivers are out is that, motorists sometimes have a tendency of getting in the way. I always like to tell people that there's no reason to get around the snowplow because the safest part is behind the snowplow, not in front of the snowplow. And so if motorists can just be patient and allow for the guys driving the trucks to do what they need to do, it'll make for a much easier commute for the day.
Awesome. So for those of you that are just joining us, I'm Philip Gibbon. I'm the Mayor's Chief of Staff. This is Cody Santiago. He's the Emergency Manager for the City of York. Tom Landis is our Highway Superintendent, and Mike Shannonbrook is our Emergency Planner. We're discussing the potential for snowfall tomorrow. Doesn't look like we're going to get a foot of snow or anything like that, but just wanted to keep you guys posted on our plans here. So just in general, we don't foresee we're doing this for tomorrow, but Tom, in the event that the mayor would declare a snow emergency for a big snowfall event. And I know that's happened in the past. What does that look like for our residents? I know some of the cars have to go into garages downtown. What does that look like?
Well, I think the ultimate goal behind that, what it looks like for the residents, is for the areas that are designated as a snow emergency route, it allows for the snowplow operator to get the snow load pushed back along the curb line as tightly as possible. So when we talk about our mains like Market Street and Philadelphia Street and parts of King and George and Duke and Queen, where we allow for on-street parking, it's essential to get that snow back against that curb line as tightly as possible so that we can still allow for on-street parking as well as two-directional or 2 lanes of traffic flow. The nice thing that the city does do is we do allow for free parking in our parking garage facilities. So there may be a minor inconvenience of having to move your vehicle, from out front of your house, but at least you're putting it into a lot that's relatively secure. It's light, it's safe, but it also gets your vehicle out of the way so that Public Works can do their jobs.
Yeah. And on that note, and we'll talk about the snow melting here in a second, but if this snow would linger on, we don't save parking spaces with trash cans and chairs and all of that, right?
Exactly.
I know that's been a problem in the past. So Cody, as this storm develops, and how often does the National Weather Service update their every few hours?
It varies, but typically we see one at 7 a.m., 10 a.m. The next one's at 2, I believe, and then at 5. It seems like everybody's, even not just National Weather Service, but everybody's final call is going to be around 5 or 6 tonight, just before we see it transition into snow. So for
people that want to stay on top of what is happening, what's the best place for them to do that?
Well, we'll be keeping everybody updated through the City of York's emergency management page. And we also encourage everybody to go on to the National Weather Service's website, which is weather.gov.
And they're right out of State College.
Yes, right out of State College, so they're right here at home.
Good. All right. So finally, if we do get that ugly number, or even the Lancaster ugly number, how long will it stick around on the ground?
There actually is a formula for snow
Is there?
that you can predict how long it's going to take to melt. That's a loaded question. But the weather forecasters are calling for a warming trend right after the storm through Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. So I don't believe it's going to stick around a long time, which brings to point that people, if possible, should clean out their storm drains so that we don't have any flooding, because this is going to be followed by, looks like, a rain event. So it shouldn't stick around a long time, but that being said, it'll go wrong.
Got it. Anything else, gentlemen?
I think that's
Anything we
No,
forgot?
sir.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Please share this video if you enjoyed it. Check out the City of York Office of Emergency Management page, which we'll tag here in a second. But thank you guys for watching.